61 Chapter 61 You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hint. You have activated the resource gambling token. You can freely choose the way you want to gamble. Dick asked in surprise. Wasn't the form of resource gambling to connect with other green, hand village and compete with the speed of upgrade? What else could it be? Immediately, his question was answered by his projection. There are two forms of resource gambling. You can choose one of them as you like. Ordinary gambling. The initiator will choose a green, hand village to gamble with resources. The winner's reward will be doubled all the resources. The winner green, hand village will have all kinds of attributes plus 20, and vice versa. Group gambling. The initiator chooses multiple green hand villages as his opponent and multiple green, hand villages as his teammate. They were divided into two teams, red and blue. The first to reach the prescribed points won. The reward was very high. Hint. There is no limit to the use of ordinary gambling, and the group gambling requires the initiator to reach LV16. Dick was overjoyed when he saw the information on his projection. After killing the Wolf King, he got a gambling token. He was wondering how to defeat all the green, hand villages that had intended to invade. Now, this group gambling had simply provided him the best opportunity. Hint. Dick from number 1002548 green, hand village starts the resource gambling token and chooses the mode of group gambling. You are acquiesced to be the blue team. Please start choosing your opponent. Hint. As the initiator of the gamble, the reward for the winner of the gamble will be doubled, and the punishment for the failure will be doubled. Following the instructions on the projection, a long row of green, hand village numbers appeared in front of Dick, all of which were green, hand villages in the number 12 rookie district where Dick was now. Dick sneered and began to look for the intruders who challenged no. 1002548 green, hand village. At the same time, the clamor in the regional chat channel did not stop. Number 7274 green, hand village. Despicable. How despicable he is. He even used a despicable cheating technique to gain the gambling. I don't think it's fair. That Dick must have played some tricks. Number 666 green, hand village. Oh, my dear friend, we have the same thought. That despicable guy betrayed the path of a gentleman. He must be punished by using this method. Number 69524 green, hand village. You two losers, how can you say that he cheated? You are just a group of clowns. Why do you have to compete for the worst one? Our green, hand village is the strongest one. Wait and see, the one called Dick will soon lose the gambling. Number 100102 green, hand village. God will punish them for this kind of behavior, and Our Lady won't watch such a clown continue to be arrogant. As holy apostles, we have the ability and obligation to punish this evil. Number 44232 green, hand village. It's impossible. There is no possibility of cheating in the system. I believe that Dick doesn't cheat. You should concede that win is a win and lose is a loss. This is a gentleman's behavior. Number 100102 green, hand village. Shut up, you evil monster. Didn't our last trial go deep into your hearts? Number 100254 green, hand village. You won't be forgiven by God. Robbing others is not a gentleman's behavior. We support Dick. Power can't make us yield. What we want is freedom. Number 34334 green, hand village. Humph, stupid. You've been brainwashed by your humble belief. If Dick didn't cheat, then why hasn't he come out to explain after we've talked so much? Number 100258 green, hand village. Yes, except for his arrogant words which can prove that he cheated, I really can't think of any reason to prove his innocence. An emergency announcement resounded through the whole chat channel as if a huge bomb had been dropped. L.RG Emergency Announcement. Dick from No. 1002548 Green, Hand Village has started the group gambling in number 12 Rookie District for the first time. Hint. The group will be divided into two teams, red and blue. The loser would lose 70% of the resources and each of them would lose 50 points. The winner's resources would be doubled by 2 times, and each property would be increased by 50 points. The regional chat channel fell into a terrible silence for a moment. This kind of game was really exciting. In particular, the green, hand villages which had ever obtained a gambling token, when they started it, they had seen the choice of the group gambling, but they did not dare to bet on the chance of victory or defeat. But they didn't expect that Dick would start the group gambling as soon as he took action. This was too cruel. After all, that was 70% of the resources and 50 points. If they had won a gamble before, they could still afford to sacrifice. But if they had lost before, 70% of the resources would be equivalent to strangling the fate of a green, hand village. There were still 50 points. Although there were masters above LV15 in the number 12 Rookie District, a large number of people in these green, hand villages were still on a low level. The total properties of these people were not enough to add up to 50. If 50 points were deducted, these people would probably be killed on the spot. At this time, those who had insulted number 1002548 green, hand village before suddenly felt shocked. An inexplicable shadow shrouded their bodies, making them unable to breathe. Group gambling. This gambling will be divided into two teams, red and blue. Number 1002548 green, hand village is the blue team. There were no more than 20 green, hand village numbers on each side. Gambling method. The winner will be determined by accumulating points. The green, hand village on both sides could provide points. The team accumulates 1,000 points first wins. How to obtain points. You can get 1 point after killing the LV1 to LV10 demonic beasts, 2 points after killing the LV11 to LV13 demonic beasts, 3 points after killing the LV14 demonic beasts, and 4 points after killing the LV15 demonic beasts. The demonic beast's level increases by 1, and the points will increase by 1. Hint. Only the individual hunting of the magical beasts can obtain points. If a group of people is hunting, they will not be included. God, only by killing the magical beasts alone could one obtain points. This completely blocked the way to winning with the number of teams. This group gambling was actually so strict with the conditions. How many green, hand villages were needed to reach 1,000 points? 62 Chapter 62 You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hint. In this resource gambling, people in the winner team reach 200 points will receive an extra reward, reach 500 points will receive a double reward, and reach 800 points will receive a treble reward. The hint is over. Dick starts to choose the opponent. Although the mysterious extra reward made everyone excited, they couldn't help but feel nervous when they heard that Dick was choosing his opponent. No one wanted to be the loser, so Dick's choice was of great importance to these green, hand villages. Soon, Dick's hostile group appeared on the regional chat channel. Announcement of gambling. Number 666 green, hand village is chosen as the red team being the opposing side. No, we just lost half of the resources. If we lose another 70%, we will be doomed. Announcement of gambling. Number 7274 green, hand village is chosen as the red team being the opposing side. These damn cheaters actually want to continue plundering resources while cheating. But this time, Toby will definitely defeat you. Announcement of gambling. Number 69524 green, hand village is chosen as the red team being the opposing side. Humph, we were chosen to be enemies just after a few words of justice. Dick is so rude. It's really humiliating the tradition. Announcement of gambling. Number 100102 green, hand village is chosen as the red team being the opposing side. Lord, have you seen it? A human who has tarnished your glory actually dares to take the initiative to provoke us. What bold behavior! We have to replace the great God and drive out the evil in the world. Dick selected one by one. In the regional chat channel, the green, hand villages which had shown obvious malice and aggressiveness to number 1002548 green, hand village, were all selected to the enemy side. Exclamations continued on the field. Some green, hand villages, who had been chosen to join the enemy's team, were still stubborn and fiercely declaring a threat, while some green, hand villages had already let out wails. Dick slapped those who doubted his cheating and were hostile to his green, hand village through his way. It should have been like this. Look at these guys. They are usually very arrogant, but when they are really chosen to be the opponents, they begin to wail. God won't bless you barbarians. We believe in Dick. We believe that he will lead us to victory. Number 42 green, hand village apply to join the red team. Number 1002542 green, hand village as well. Although we just came in, we will try our best. We can't lower our heads to these invaders. Many people supported him, but most of them just supported him verbally. Only number 42 green, hand village and number 1002542 green, hand village wanted to join the red team and join Dick in the resource gambling. Humph. If he really adds those people who supported him verbally to his team, they would probably turn their heads to attack him in the first place. These people just wanted to stand on the moral high ground to show their noble emotions. They were not willing to pay, nor were they willing to participate, and they were more afraid of failure. Such a bystander who didn't care about others was also the reason for condoning the constant arrogance of the aggressor. Dick looked coldly at the people who were cheering for him. The previous two green, hand villages joined after the strongest person gathered the opinions of the people in the green, hand village, and then expressed that they wanted to join the regional chat channel. As for the other green, hand villages, they only expressed their support verbally without taking any action. Dick even saw several green, hand villages who were chosen by him to be the opponents also supported him on purpose, trying to make Dick transfer their green, hand village from the enemies. Announcement of gambling. Number 42 green, hand village is chosen as the blue team. Announcement of gambling. Number 1002542 green, hand village was chosen as the blue team. Announcement of gambling. This time, it proves that the team chosen is over. There were 12 green, hand villages in the red team and 3 green, hand villages in the blue team. During the gambling, all the green, hand villages who participated will be unable to chat in the regional chat channel for the time being. The green, hand villages of each team would open the team chat channel. With this message appearing on the regional chat channel, all the green, hand villages who participated in this group gambling lost the connection with the regional chat channel at the same time. However, this news completely triggered everyone's mood. 3-12. Was Dick crazy? Not to mention number 1002542 green, hand village, they just entered the regional chat channel. There was only one LV15. Among the rest people, not to mention the people in LV14, even the people in LV13 and above, there would definitely not be more than 10 in this green, hand village. Didn't Dick know that he only chose 3 green, hand villages or the 3 weak green, hand villages, which meant that he had almost given up the resource gambling? Oh, these arrogant guys. How dare they make such a choice? Don't they know that they will definitely fail? Galen, don't say that. Maybe they have given up struggling and just want to save face. Dick is sensible. He sent us another green, hand village to plunder. Ha ha ha. These stupid monsters must have shown their true colors under the light of God and realized their own evils. That's why they kneel and wait for our forgiveness. I think Dick is just a stupid woman. He must be too impulsive to do such a stupid thing. He must be regretting now. In the red team, the emotions of these green, hand villages, who had been selected, quickly changed from uneasiness at the beginning to arrogance now. In their eyes, Dick, whom they had wantonly attacked, was stupid. In their opinion, even if Dick was a cheater, he would not be able to fight back under the huge gap between 3 players and 12 players. On the contrary, there was dead silence on the chat channel of the blue team. The people of number 42 Green, Hand Village and number 1002542 Green, Hand Village were all at a loss. After a long time, someone said cautiously, "Ladies and gentlemen, are we fooled by this guy called Dick? 3 to 12. No matter what, we won't win. But those Green, Hand Villages have insulted him and they all have enmity with him. He won't hurt us, will he?" 63 Chapter 63 You are listening at novelfull.audio. Well, is there any possibility that Mr. Dick made a mistake? Did he start the gambling before he finished choosing? With this conjecture, everyone was even more flustered. If it was really a mistake, it meant that they would have no chance of winning this time. They could only wait to be plundered 70% of the resources and 50 points. Just then, Dick appeared on the group chat channel. "Don't worry. I didn't make any mistakes. I'm sure we'll win. When you gamble, you just need to try your best to kill the magical beasts." Although Dick's explanation made everyone feel a little relieved, the number 42 Green, Hand Village and number 1002542 Green, Hand Village still found it hard to believe. "But how can we win? Mr. Dick, you may think it's easy, but you have to show us some convincing evidence, right?" About this question, the people of number 1002548 Green, Hand Village swarmed up to answer the question in place of Dick. After listening to Dick's 2 experiences about how he made vigorous efforts to turn the tide, the 2 Green, Hand Villages admired Dick from head to toe. Although they were still a little panicked about this gambling, in their hearts, Dick had undoubtedly drawn an equal sign with the miracle. "Everyone, I admit that I have taken some risks and made you stand on the dangerous side with me. But don't you want to see the faces of the invaders who have failed? Don't you want to appreciate their expressions after the failure? Miracles are not created by any god. Miracles are created by ourselves. So, please join me in this group gambling to create miracles that belong to us." Dick's last words ignited the fire in everyone's heart. Yes, number 1002542 Green, Hand Village had been targeted the moment they entered, and number 42 Green, Hand Village had been plundered 2 times. They wanted more than anyone to let those invaders pay the price. Miracle. They had been waiting for such a miracle. "Okay, let's go. This time, we will definitely create a miracle that belongs to us. We must let those invaders pay a heavy price for what they have done." Hint. During the group gambling, a new point list was added to the chat channel of each team. You can check the point at any time. Hint. The group gambling will start in 10 minutes. Now the countdown begins. Seeing that everyone had fully mobilized their emotions and the group gambling was about to begin, Dick withdrew from the group chat channel. The fog forest was located at the southernmost of Green, Hand Village, and his next goal was the silent grassland in the easternmost of Green, Hand Village. Although the system suggested that 10 strong men above LV-18 should be together to challenge the Tiger King, with the last experience, Dick was not afraid of being alone to explore the situation. Moreover, according to the experience of the demonic wolf, there must be a huge group of magical beasts beside the Tiger King, which could help him upgrade during the slaughter. 10 minutes later, the gambling began. Dick also arrived at the silent grassland. As soon as Dick arrived, he understood why this grassland was called Silence. Benove calm the wind blew over the plants, making no sound. The silence made Dick doubt if he was deaf. But the smell of the magical beasts in the wind told Dick that this was definitely a very dangerous place. The waist-length wild grass and rare but huge trees were enough to hide countless magical beasts. According to the system, the Tiger King was in the depth of the silent grassland. In order to protect himself, Dick used the skill of the wolf soul cloak to transform into the demonic Wolf King and ran all the way to the habitat of the Tiger King. Due to his unique Beastmaster's aura, the magical beasts, which were hidden in the dark, dared not approach Dick at all. In just 5 minutes, Dick ran into the middle area. The skill effect of the wolf soul cloak was over, and Dick hid his body the moment the effect disappeared. Although he wasn't afraid of the magical beasts, if he fought here, it would cause some abnormal movements. He didn't want to alert the Tiger King and the magical beasts beside him in advance. It was a pity that they were on the grassland. Many magical beasts couldn't be found with naked eyes. Just as Dick curled up in the grass, he suddenly felt pain between his eyebrows. When he looked up again, he saw a pair of evil eyes appearing out of nowhere. There was no doubt that it was a huge magical beast. Because of the patterns on its body, the magical beast was almost integrated with the surrounding environment. The strong aura of the magical beasts around them became the best umbrella for this magical beast. It was not until Dick got close to it that he suddenly found it. Well, it's a misunderstanding. Do you believe it? Dick was taken aback and couldn't help explaining. Then he wanted to slap himself on the face. It was a magical beast. How could it understand the human language? The sharp claws of the magical beast came at Dick fiercely. Before Dick could take out his weapon, he punched back. Dick was wearing the pair of poisonous gloves that he got from his trip to the Insect Valley. Although Dick suffered a little loss in strength, the tiger-shaped magical beast, on the contrary, had its whole claw corroded by the poison. A terrified growl came out of the tiger-shaped magical beast's mouth. To Dick's surprise, on this silent grassland, even the growl of the magical beast was suppressed at an extremely low frequency, which sounded more like a cat's scream. It turned around and wanted to run away, but Dick wouldn't allow the magical beast to escape. With a wave of the moonlight machete, the magical beast was divided into 2 parts. But the strong smell of the blood also attracted other magical beasts' attention. Only then did Dick notice that there were 7 or 8 magical beasts hiding around the place where he thought covert. These tiger-shaped magical beasts should be from the same group, and the one that attacked him should be the spy they had released. But now that the spy was dead, the whole group was determined to swallow the intruder. Dick took a deep breath and waved the moonlight machete in his hand. Come together if you want to die. I'm in a hurry. I don't have time to play games with you. As soon as he finished speaking, the ground under Dick's feet began to roll. 64 Chapter 64 You are listening at novelfull.audio. Magical Beast. Demonic Tiger, Level. LV 16, Nature. The Earth. Blood Vitality. 1800, Energy. 600, Strength. 800, Defense. 300, Agility. 200. Talent. Soil Manipulation. Skill. Earth Stab. The Explosive Rate. 10%. The eyes of God reflected the information about the talent of these magical beasts. At this time, Dick's body had already flown in the air. At the moment when the ground beneath his feet was surging, Dick activated the butterfly wings. When he looked at the ground beneath his feet, he found that the soil was rolling and twisting like waves. On the other hand, the demonic tigers stood on the flat ground under their feet and growled at Dick threateningly. The surging soil pushed the body of a demonic tiger up sharply. Its claws were as big as Dick's head. If this palm hit Dick's body, at least his bones and tendons would be broken. However, Dick didn't plan to take the blow so easily. With the talent of flow controlling, although he couldn't fly directly, he could adjust his position. At the moment when the tiger's claws came, Dick's tiptoe lightly tapped on the tiger's claws. With the help of its strength, he flew upward again. Since the strength of the demonic tiger had been used up, it was impossible to continue to follow Dick. It wanted to control its body, but a cold light suddenly appeared in front of it. It was a dagger shining with venom. Before the demonic tiger could react, the dagger had been deeply nailed into its forehead. With a suppressed roar, the body of the demonic tiger began to rot. When it fell to the ground, there was only a dry bone left. The surging soil quickly devoured its bones, and the other demonic tigers no longer attacked rashly as it did. Instead, they waited carefully below, trying to wait for this human to fall into their domain before they began to attack. Nice try. You can attack me with your own strength. If it were another person, you would really have succeeded. Dick praised. The intelligence of these demonic tigers was obviously improved a lot with the improvement of their level. But they met Dick. Although Dick lost his flying skill and fell to the ground inevitably, a strong wind blew the land away the moment he landed. The Wolf King's talent of the wind controlling played a huge role at this moment. Under Dick's control, the hurricane only appeared in a small range, but it was enough to break through the control of the demonic beasts on the ground. Even though the demonic tigers were huge, they couldn't command their bodies in front of the horrible hurricane. They were dragged in the hurricane and swayed their limbs powerlessly. They were magical beasts of the earth attribute. After they left the land they lived on, their strength was greatly reduced. The blade gently swept across the neck of every demonic tiger. Under the erosion of the venom, although the blood vitality of this group of demonic tigers was not low, it was still difficult for them to escape the fate of turning into white bones. The hurricane stopped. Accompanied by a crackling sound, the bones of the demonic tigers fell to the ground. To Dick's surprise, he had thought that only the sound of the magical beasts would be lowered on this silent grassland. But when the bones fell on the ground, the sound of collision was also lowered by some kind of force. Dick couldn't help but frown. He tried to activate his night roar talent. As expected, when the majestic tiger's roar came out of his mouth, it was as gentle as a cat. Well, it seems that there was some kind of mysterious power on this silent grassland that could forbid all the life and non-life forms here to make too much noise. In the end, Dick could only come to this conclusion reluctantly, but he still didn't know what the effect of this environment would be. System: plunder. Plundering. Plunder succeeded. Congratulations on obtaining the level D talent. Soil manipulation. Skill. Earth stab. The two same talents automatically overlapped and evolved into the level C talent. Earth controlling. Dick tried the talent curiously, he immediately felt the wonder of it. Originally, the talent of soil manipulation could only simply manipulate the soil so that it could act according to his will. However, the current earth controlling could make himself integrated with the soil, and he could even move freely in the solid ground without any hindrance. This meant that Dick could avoid a lot of unnecessary trouble in the process of going to the habitat of the Tiger King. Moreover, in the face of the pursuit of magical beasts, he had another way to escape. Even if the magical beasts could dig 3 feet into the ground, they couldn't catch up with him simply by digging. Then Dick looked at the treasure box of the demonic tigers. There was only one level C treasure box in total among the 8 demonic tigers, which made Dick sigh that his luck today was really lacking. But it was better than nothing. Dick opened the level C treasure box. With a flash of white light, a circular badge appeared on Dick's hand. Level 3 item. Earth badge. The user could get the affinity of the earth element. Defense plus 30. Dick looked at the badge in his hand in surprise. Apart from its color, the shape of the badge was actually the same as the one he had obtained before. Moreover, the additional effect was also an affinity for elements. The wind badge brought about the affinity of the wind element, which could help Dick withstand the attack of the demonic Wolf King. With this earth badge, he might have a chance to fight against the Tiger King now. At least he could run away. Dick was overjoyed. He took out his wind badge and the earth, and carefully compared them. Just as he was admiring his 2 badges, there seemed to be a sudden magnetic force between the 2 badges, tightly clasping together. After a burst of distorted white light, the two circular badges were no longer complete. Instead, they merged together and turned into an incomplete badge, showing a semicircle shape. With his mouth wide open, Dick stared at the semicircle badge in his hand in disbelief. He suddenly thought of a possibility. There were 4 elements: earth, wind, water and fire. He had collected the 2 elements badges, and these 2 badges could merge into a semicircle. That was to say, there were also 2 kinds of badges of water and fire. When he collected 4 kinds of badges, he would obtain a badge of all elements. 65 Chapter 65 You are listening at novelfull.audio. Dick couldn't help feeling excited. Only a single element of the badge could make him survive under the attacks of the Beastmaster. If the 4 elements were gathered together, how strong would it be? After carefully examining the semicircle badge in his hand for a while, Dick carefully put it on the inner side of his armor. He didn't want to lose this precious badge in the battle because of his wrong operation. He opened the point ranking list of the blue team. As he expected, Dick's name was ranked first and had reached 48 points. Apart from him, only 8 members of the red team managed to hunt down the magical beasts of LV-14 with their own efforts. The point was still far from enough. Dick wondered what was going on with the red team. But he really needed to speed up. Lowering his body, Dick hid in the grassland. With the affinity of Earth and the talent of Earth controlling, Dick didn't need to worry about the sudden attack of the magical beasts at all. All the magical beasts had to walk on the ground. He only needed to avoid those tall trees and prevent the magical beasts from attacking him directly from the tree. Otherwise, no one magical beast could escape from his perception. In Dick's perception, there was a huge magical beast in the direction he was heading. No one knew what it was doing, but it was still in the direction he was heading. If he wanted to bypass the magical beast's perception, he would definitely break into the other magical beast's territory. At that time, it was very likely to cause a chain reaction, causing him to be hunted down by many magical beasts. Since it was impossible to dodge, then let him go there and kill it. Dick thought. A mere LV-16 magical beast couldn't stop him. After making up his mind, Dick began to sneak. He kept moving forward until he was 100 meters away from the magical beast. It was not until then that Dick found that the magical beast was really huge, beyond his imagination. The magical beast's huge body was lying in the grass, the color of which blended with the grass. At a glance, it looked like a small hill. The Eyes of God talent activated. Now Dick could only use his talent to judge the ability of the magical beast. Dick didn't know where the magical beast's head was hidden. The only thing he could see was its body. He didn't even know where the limbs of the magical beast were hidden. Magical beast. Armored rhinoceros. Grade. LV-16, blood vitality. 2500, strength. 600, energy. 500, defense. 600, agility. 100. Talent. Armor. Skill. Blood vitality recovery. The explosive rate. 10%, LO. It had a blood vitality of 2500 and a defensive value of 600. It was not a magical beast. It was almost a mountain. Dick let out a long sigh. Its blood vitality and defense were almost 2 times stronger than his. No wonder it dared to sleep here swaggeringly, not afraid of any sneak attack from other magical beasts. If someone else encountered such a magical beast, he would definitely be helpless. Its horrifying blood vitality and defensive value, coupled with a skill that could recover its blood vitality, could exhaust even the enemy whose level was higher than it to death. But Dick was different. His moonlight machete had an armor-breaking effect, and the level of agility was far beyond that of this armored rhinoceros. If compared to consumption, this armored rhinoceros was waiting to be beaten. Dick leaned against the armored rhinoceros silently. He took out a dagger from his backpack and threw it at it. He didn't expect it could hurt the armored rhinoceros. He just wanted it to show its head so that he could easily judge its weakness when attacking. However, when the dagger hit the armor of the armored rhinoceros, there was not even a white dot left. Under the impact, the dagger was even broken into several pieces. Dick's dagger was smeared with venom. Normally, the venom was invincible for the magical beasts. But now, the venom only stayed on it for a moment and then disappeared helplessly. Even if it was a kind of liquid that could spread through everything, it was still unable to find any breakthrough in the armor of the armored rhinoceros. Dick was stunned. He didn't expect that his attack, which he was proud of, didn't work at all. If he couldn't find its weakness, he would have to cut off its defense bit by bit, and then slowly consume its strong blood vitality. But Dick didn't want to choose such a troublesome way. He turned on the dark erosion and the surging black gas hit the armored rhinoceros, causing a layer of black mist to appear around its body. At last, the armored rhinoceros couldn't keep calm anymore. The dark erosion could directly attack its body without being blocked by the defense. The armored rhinoceros was suddenly attacked like this and raised its huge head suddenly. Dick was amazed again. The head of the armored rhinoceros was as big as a locomotive, with a sharp horn shining with cold light. As for its huge body, you might not be able to fight back if you were hit by it. Its little eyes flashed with an evil light. It looked at the tiny human standing in front of it and roared silently. Then it spread its 4 hooves and rushed towards Dick with one horn. The rhinoceros was huge, but it didn't move fast. Dick dodged its attack with a slight sideways movement. At the same time, the moonlight machete turned and cut a wound under its neck. Although it was hit, Dick smiled bitterly. The effect of the armor breaking still existed, but this wound didn't even have blood. The reduced defense was insignificant to the armored rhinoceros. The armored rhinoceros turned around, its eyes shining with disdain. It charged at Dick again. This time, Dick changed his mind. His body sank sharply, and then the armored rhinoceros felt the ground under its feet soft as if it had fallen into a swamp. It was extremely difficult to pull out its 4 hooves. Earth controlling overlapping the earth stab. The armored rhinoceros let out a slight roar, and the blood spurted from its body, which made it fall into fear. It desperately struggled with its limbs, trying to get out of control. Sure enough, most of the magical beast's defenses were on the surface of their body, and their soft abdomen was its weakness. Dick was overjoyed and continued to control the ground under his feet. The heavy body of the armored rhinoceros flew up, exposing its soft abdomen in front of Dick. 66 Chapter 66 You are listening at novelfull.audio. How could Dick miss such an opportunity? The moonlight machete flashed, and a shining light streaked across the abdomen of the armored rhinoceros. It was severely poisoned before it could even release its own talent. A violent roar came out of its mouth. This roar was not limited by the silent grassland, but extremely loud, spreading far away in this silent grassland. Even though the armored rhinoceros had amazing defensive power and strong blood vitality, it was an attack on the inside of its body, and even such a defense was unable to resist it. A few seconds later, the armored rhinoceros turned into an empty shell. All the flesh and blood were corroded by the poison, leaving only the huge armor on the spot. Dick stepped forward and tapped its heavy armor. He felt a sharp pain in his fingers. This was definitely the hardest thing he had ever seen. If he wanted to break it head-on, he had to be at least 2 levels ahead of this armored rhinoceros. What made Dick curious was the roar of the armored rhinoceros. In this silent grassland, the sound of all the creatures should not be too loud, which had just been proved. However, the armored rhinoceros had obviously broken the rule before it died. Dick couldn't help but think about what the rule was, that the creatures could only make a roar before they died. Frowning, Dick was thinking while dealing with the body of the armored rhinoceros. First of all, he extracted the talent of armor and the skill of blood vitality recovery. Then, with a 10% explosive rate, a level D treasure box was released. The treasure chest is opened. Congratulations on your harvest of the level .3 herbs. Earth fruit. Earth fruit. It can promote the talent of the earth attribute to level B. Thick earth, which has the ability to change other properties into the earth attribute. It was a good thing. It was the first time that Dick had heard that fruit could change other attributes. He had been eager to take the fruit and see its effect, but at this moment, an unusual feeling came from the ground under Dick's feet. The earth controlling helped Dick easily feel the change of soil. In his perception, it seemed that countless insects were crawling. He didn't know how many of these insects there were. But judging from the rumbling sound on the ground, it was definitely an extremely large group, and they had a clear unified goal. Dick thought for a while. He had planned to have a face-to-face collision with the magical beasts, but the silent grassland was obviously not measured by common sense, so he decided to temporarily avoid it and observe it first. When he jumped onto a huge tree, Dick found that although he had put the armored rhinoceros armor into the storage ring, its bones were still scattered on the ground. The hard skeleton of this magical beast was extremely heavy, each of which weighed hundreds of pounds. Under the sunlight, they were iron-gray, and their strength was almost the same as that of the outer shell of the armored rhinoceros. It was too late for Dick to take them, he just hid in the tree. He wanted to see why these magical insects came here. When the soil was separated, a large number of ants came up from the ground. These ants were the size of a palm, and their bodies were shining with a dark gold luster. Especially for the pair of mouthparts, they were half the length of an ant's body, and the cold light was revealed, like two daggers. Magical Beast. Silent Demonic Ant, Level. LV 15, Blood Vitality. 800, Energy. 800, Strength. 100, Defense. 100, Agility. 200. Talent. Super Strength. Explosive Rate. 3%. Hint. The silent demonic ant is a social creature. They look for food according to the sound. Dick was a little surprised. Although the level of these silent demonic ants had reached LV 15, they were far inferior to the magical beasts of the same level, and even some of the LV 13 magical beasts were much higher than them. But then Dick understood why these ants were called the silent ants. The hard skeleton of the armored rhinoceros was as fragile as paper under the mouthparts of the silent demonic ants. Under the siege of the large group of ants, it was quickly swallowed up. The destructive force made Dick even doubt if the 100 points of strength were wrong. What made Dick's scalp tingle was the number of the silent demonic ants. From his point of view, there were countless silent demonic ants. Although they had covered a large area, more and more of them were still coming out of the ground. Under such a large number of sieges, unless there was absolute power that could guarantee these silent demonic ants would not get close to one's body, or one was confident that he could defeat them all. Otherwise, no matter how powerful the warrior was, there were only two choices, escape and death. In a few minutes, the silent demonic ants had already eaten up the bones of the armored rhinoceros. Then the group of ants flowed back along the way like water. They even replaced the ground they had turned over so that the whole ground was flat again. Dick didn't dare to act rashly. He didn't dare to climb down the tree carefully until the sound of the silent demonic ants disappeared. When he was halfway down, he suddenly saw an ape-shaped magical beast squatting above his head. It was only a few meters away from him at most. When he hid just now, it could grab his head with a stretch. However, the magical beast didn't move at all. Its whole body trembled, and it desperately shrank its body to hide in the leaves. This was also the reason why Dick hadn't seen the magical beast until now. Under the great deterrence of those silent demonic ants, the other magical beasts lost their hunting instinct. One could imagine how terrifying these silent demonic ants were. No wonder this place is called the Silent Grassland. With these ants, even if they dare to make a little louder sound, they can't escape the disaster. Dick murmured to himself. Of course, his voice was very low. Under the deterrence of the silent demonic ants, silence had already become the rule of this grassland. Perhaps only before they died they could break the rule to make a roar like the armored rhinoceros. It seemed that this time, his task was very difficult. It was already very difficult to break through the silent demonic ants to find the Tiger King. 67 Chapter 67 You are listening at novelfull.audio. But Dick suddenly realized something. If this grassland was named after the existence of the silent demonic ant, then what was the status of the Tiger King in this grassland? There shouldn't be two rulers on a grassland. If there was an ant group, there should be a queen ant. But if there was absolute silence on the grassland, the Tiger King shouldn't have become the ruler here. On the contrary, the ruler here should be the queen ant. After thinking for a long time, Dick still couldn't figure out the relationship between the two rulers. In the end, he could only simply attribute it to the food chain. Perhaps it was because the two types of magical beasts didn't devour each other. The Tiger King was stronger than the queen ant, so there must be a real ruler and a nominal ruler in this silent grassland. Dick found a quiet place and swallowed the earth fruit he had opened from the treasure box. Now he needed more powerful strength to break through the silent demonic ant group and find the Tiger King in the core area of the silent grassland. After the fruit was eaten, Dick felt as if the blood all over his body had turned into soil and blocked in his blood vessels and veins as if to turn his flesh and blood into stones. An arduous sound came out of his mouth. He saw his body turning into a stone statue from the tip of his finger. The hard touch made his joints stiff little by little and finally maintained a strange range. To realize the transformation between the elements, the first thing to do was to transform the user. Unable to breathe or move, all the five senses disappeared. Dick even began to doubt if he was still alive. But at this moment, the badge he wore in his armor suddenly emitted a brownish-yellow light, illuminating the chest of Dick, who had turned into a stone statue. Dick felt that the shackles that had been restraining him were suddenly opened as if he broke through the water surface. He took a deep breath and felt that his dry lungs had returned to life at this moment. He had never felt that the air was so sweet. Every breath was a supreme enjoyment. While Dick was breathing, the soil on the ground also gathered in Dick's body from all directions. They attached themselves to the surface of Dick's body, and gradually integrated into Dick's skin, slowly replacing the original biological structure of Dick. At this moment, Dick was touching the ground with his hand. He felt as if the whole earth was going to be integrated with him. He could feel every change of the ground and the movement of every soil. As long as he wanted, the whole land seemed to be a part of Dick's body. His spirit slowly spread out with the help of soil. In a short time, he had caught up with the silent demonic ants which were moving quickly underground. This wonderful feeling made Dick feel relaxed and happy. His feet moved, and all of the soil was pushing his body forward. His speed was several times faster than before. A strong sense of confidence spread in Dick's heart. Previously, he had to be careful in front of the silent demonic ants, but now, they were the storehouse for him to provide points and experience. The strongest part of the silent demonic ant lay in its number. As long as a silent demonic ant got close to his body, unless he could endure the pain of being bitten by the bone and blood, he would definitely be devoured by countless silent demonic ants in the end. Now that he had the level B talent of thick earth, Dick was 100% confident that he could keep every silent demonic ant at a safe distance. Unknowingly, Dick had caught up with the silent demonic group. The silent demonic ant was the rule of this silent grassland. Naturally, there would not be a magical beast who was stupid enough to stop the ants from moving forward, nor would the magical beast dare to follow the ants so closely like Dick. This gave Dick a great convenience to pursue the ants without scruple. Well, the rule of silence on the silent grassland has lasted for too long. Now let me break this ugly rule. Dick said to himself as he passed the group of silent demonic ants and stopped them. He felt the ground beneath his feet shake. Roar talent activated. This time, Dick directly broke the rule of the silent grassland. This terrifying roar lasted for 1,000 miles, like a raging thunder falling from the sky, like a heavenly punishment from Zeus. The ground in front of Dick suddenly turned over, and the silent demonic ants felt the loud sound wave. Now they were going to hunt their prey who dared to make sounds on this grassland. Since the night roar had pointed to an underground target, the effect of fear naturally did not occur. However, Dick's purpose was to use this roar to attract the attention of the silent demonic ants. Facing the overwhelming crowd of ants, Dick stood still. A solid stone wall rose around him. The surging silent demonic ants bumped into it, making the sound of waves hitting the reef. That was exactly what Dick wanted. The silent demonic ants only felt that the ground beneath their feet suddenly began to surge. This place they were very familiar with suddenly became strange. Countless sharp thorns grew from their feet. The spikes were as thin as hair. Under Dick's skillful control, they pierced through the bodies of the silent demonic ants. Of course, only one skill could kill a small part of the silent demonic ants. Although Dick was strong, he was not able to control tens of thousands of hair-thick thorns at a time. A sound of metal vibration was heard from the silent demonic ant group. Then he looked at them. Their bodies had expanded unexpectedly, and their mouthparts were even sharper and larger. With a gentle touch, they could easily cut the defense built by Dick. There is no way to heaven but to hell. You are really going there one after another. Dick murmured to himself, and his fist hit the ground hard. In an instant, with Dick's body as the center, the ripples on the ground spread out in circles. All the silent demonic ants that were swept by the shock wave were frozen in midair. When he looked carefully, he found that their bodies had turned into sand that could be broken into pieces with a pinch. 68 Chapter 68 You are listening at novelfull.audio. The earth element transformation skill could only have the effect on weaker creatures, and it played a great role at the moment. The attack of the silent demonic ants was easily defeated, and Dick didn't need to deal with it by himself. He only needed to command the surging soil to send the poison he refined to the side of the silent demonic ants, and they would not be able to withstand the erosion of the poison. From a distance, he could see that the surroundings of Dick were already filled with sand. The silent demonic ants that attacked him had either turned into soil or been eroded by poison. With the collapse of countless silent demonic ants, Dick's points also soared like a rocket. At this time, Edward had killed more than a dozen LV-14 magical beasts. He had thought this result was good, but when he opened the list of points, he thought he was dazzled for a moment. The number after Dick's name was spinning crazily. It was hard to see the unit's place clearly. It could only be seen that 10's digits were constantly increasing. Now, Dick's points had reached to terrifying 510. Oh my God! What the hell did this guy do? Did he rob the system of this world? Not to mention others, even I think he is suspected of cheating. Edward couldn't help but let out a groan. At this moment, the people of number 42 Green, Hand Village and number 1002542 Green, Hand Village also found that Dick's points were growing crazily. They also fell into madness at the same time. What the hell did this man do? Isn't he only LV-16? How can he accumulate so many points? I think I need to reconsider whether he cheated or not. Now I think there is nothing wrong with saying that he cheated, right? Don't talk nonsense. This is strength. Do you understand? That's true, but don't you think it's too unreasonable to have such strength? It hasn't been a long time since the beginning of the gambling. It should be less than a day, right? If we continue at this speed, I'm afraid we can win today. A miracle. It's really a miracle. God has shown his holy power. He is helping us fight against the invaders. The chat channel of the blue team was almost crazy, but the red team was a little stiff. Although the 12 green, hand villages had been assigned to the same team, in fact, there was very little communication between them. Occasionally, they talked about the progress of their hunting. Now the number one on the red team's ranking list was Toby from number 7274 Green, Hand Village. Although he had relied on his subordinates before, he had some real skills. At this time, his points had exceeded 100. Sir, it's almost over today. Hunting the magical beasts at night is not good for us, let alone a 1.1 battle. I think we can continue hunting tomorrow. Andre stood beside Toby and said softly. No, we can't. We won't lose this game again. Now Galen has almost accumulated 100 points, and the other green, hand villages are in good condition. Our total points had reached 400. As long as we work harder, we can reach 1000 points tomorrow. At that time, I must let this despicable Dick feel pain. Toby swore solemnly. His eyes were burning with strong hatred. He raised the scimitar in his hand and chopped hard at the head of the magical beast in front of him as if it was Dick's head. The situation in other green, hand villages was almost the same. Almost all of the green, hand village of the red team felt that they were sure to win, especially when they saw that their progress was about to reach half within a day. They were even more proud. In their opinion, the blue team only had 3 green, hand villages. Even if they tried their best to chase them, they couldn't achieve half of their achievements in 2 days. Hey, guys, have you seen the point list? At most by this time tomorrow, we can accumulate 1000 points. By that time, we can let Dick and others taste the pain of failure. Yeah, they are just overconfident. They are going to suffer a lot soon. I can't wait to see their ugly state on the regional chat channel. Our green, hand village also has a gambling token. After this time, we must launch a challenge to gamble and teach that bastard named Dick a good lesson. As soon as the first voice appeared, other people on the red chatting channel were immediately awakened. They laughed and wantonly exaggerated the situation of the blue team after they failed. The overall situation has been decided. Even if Dick is really Satan, he can't change the result. Toby said confidently. Once he thought that he was about to see Dick fail, he felt relieved. Even the smell of the blood from the magical beast in front of him was so wonderful. Andre, the reason why I didn't commit seppuku last time was that I had to find Dick for revenge. And this time, with such a good opportunity for revenge, I will never fail. Toby took out the gorgeous dagger again and handed it to Andre. This time, he even pulled it out. Andre, if we still fail this time, please cut off my head. My blood will wash away my shame and keep my last dignity. This is my pursuit of martial arts. Andre said in a low voice, kneeling on one knee and taking the dagger from Toby respectfully. Mr. Toby, I really admire your great character. You are a real strong man and worth my whole life to follow. Don't worry. I won't let your dignity be shamed. There should have been a lot of compliments after Toby finished his words, but an inappropriate message appeared after Toby's words. The announcement of gambling. The blue team accumulated 1000 points and won the gambling. The smile on Toby's face froze with embarrassment. He pointed at the message on the chatting channel, and his Adam's apple was wriggling up and down. Finally, he couldn't hold on any longer. He rolled his eyes, spat out a mouthful of blood and fainted. 69 Chapter 69 You are listening at novelfull.audio. Toby couldn't bear the huge blow and fainted, and the other green, hand villages in the red team were not much better. The highest of them only got more than 50 points. Although the number of people was large that they could have a considerable number of points. They didn't expect that the blue team would win so soon under the leadership of Dick. Looking at the mountains and the rivers in front of them constantly disappearing, the magical beasts that were about to be hunted by them turned into light dots one after another and rose into the sky. They felt that their souls were about to break into pieces. At this moment, many people were crazily wailing. Those were the resources they relied on for survival and the guarantee of the upgrade. But all this could not be redeemed. They had to pay for the sins they had committed. This was the rule they had always believed in, and now it was working on them. Among the green, hand villages of the red team, there was still a large proportion of people who were still at a lower level, and their total body properties didn't add up to 50 points. After deducting them 2 times, many of them immediately turned into light dots and vanished into thin air. On the contrary, all the people in number 42 green, hand village and number 1002542 green, hand village of the blue team looked at the huge mountains and rivers rising up in front of them, and the magical beasts that appeared out of nowhere. They fell into a daze. Many people were still pinching their cheeks, trying to prove what they saw was true with pain. It had to be said that happiness came so suddenly. Dick didn't even give them much time to suspect from the completely impossible victory to the current victory. A beam of light fell on Dick. Since his personal points had got more than 500 points and he was the initiator of the gambling, the reward for him was 3 times more than that of others. That was 150 points. Apportioning evenly, his increase was almost equal to half a level. The silent demonic ants were no longer able to stop Dick. They also sensed the strength of their opponent in front of them. After losing almost half of their members, they quickly retreated back to the ground. This time, after activating their talent, the moving speed of these silent demonic ants in the soil had increased by several times. Even if Dick wanted to catch up with them, it would be difficult. After all, he was facing an entire race, and they were all fleeing desperately. Tens of thousands of ants, even if the explosive rate was not high, Dick still obtained over 100 level.E treasure boxes. These treasure boxes' level was so low that Dick didn't even want to open them. Even if he opened it, they were still some useless equipment in his hands, so he threw them all into his backpack. Dick's level had now reached LV-17. Killing the silent demonic ants had increased his experience greatly. Now, even he was close to LV-18. Hint. Since Dick has made a great contribution to the gambling, he will be rewarded with an extra card of the synthetic treasure chest. Card of the synthetic treasure chest. After using it, you can combine 10 low.level treasure chests into a high.level treasure chest. Each card can only be used once. You can obtain it after killing the magical beasts. Another beam of light slowly fell from the sky. Dick gently took it over. It was a gilded card with a golden treasure box drawn on it. Dick was overjoyed. This card might not be useful to others, because they couldn't gather so many low.level treasure boxes. Once they got treasure boxes, they would open them immediately and get the equipment to strengthen themselves. But he was different. He was worried that he couldn't deal with the hundreds of treasure boxes that he obtained after killing the silent demonic ants. If he could get more treasure boxes in the process of killing the magical beasts, these treasure boxes would at least provide him with a level B treasure box. Immediately, Dick couldn't wait to try it out. After using the card of the synthetic treasure box, the 10 level.E treasure boxes in his backpack slowly merged into a level.D treasure box. At this time, Dick suddenly saw the profile picture of Edward flashing. He clicked it and saw a bitter smile emoji from Edward. Are you still there? Go and have a look. The regional chat channel is noisy again. The green, hand villages that have been defeated by you, are now criticizing you. Dick snorted. These robbers were bullies. Now that they had been defeated by him, they dared to make trouble for him. They were courting death. Dick clicked on the chat channel and found it was very noisy. Dick is an evil king. His real purpose is not for resources, but for killing. He wants to destroy other green, hand villages in this way, killing the people of green, hand villages. God, I've already seen it. This person is the murderer demon. This time, hundreds of people in our green, hand village died. Bullshit. You provoked Mr. Dick first. Mr. Dick had no choice but to fight back. If you didn't invade other green, hand villages again and again, how could Dick do such a thing? It's just your lofty excuses. What are you pretending to be, Ralph? Do you also want to be killed by the evil killer? We have seen through his purpose. Now we should join hands to resist the killer. What killer? You are the killer. You never said that when you invaded our green hand village. Dick was so angry that he even burst into laughter. He had never expected that there would be such a person in the world, who was even more disgusting than the most vicious beast. You green hand villages, if you want, you can challenge me at any time. I'm always with you whether it's challenge gambling or resource gambling. But don't expect me to show mercy. Dick retorted coldly, but the green hand villages didn't seem to be ready to make a concession. Are you in a hurry now? Are you in a hurry to fight back because you have been stabbed in the pain by us? Why should we challenge you? You are just a cheater. We disdain to fight against a cheater. A gamble. Why should we gamble with you? Do we still need to give you an excuse to commit murder? God will never forgive you for doing this. You will definitely be punished. Oh my God. Look at this man. He even wants to fight with us. It seems that the bloody killing part of his bones is beginning to stir up trouble again. 70 Chapter 70 You are listening at novelfull.audio. Dick, don't bother. By now, these beasts have already disregarded the truth. They are just distorting the truth according to their own understanding. Edward said to Dick with a bitter smile. Before Dick showed up, they had tried to communicate and even fiercely scold each other. But in the face of this group of beasts who had lost the gambling, no matter how much he said was in vain. Suddenly, a person's speech on the regional chat channel stopped the fierce quarrel. Sphinx. Everyone is lively. How can I not be involved in such a lively thing? Mr. Dick, I have a gambling token, and I can't find a suitable opponent. I wonder if you are willing to make a deal with me. With Sphinx's words, the arrogant robbers panicked. Mr. Sphinx. Absolutely not. This person is the murderous evil king. If you sell the gambling token to him, I don't know how many people will be killed by him. We are willing to buy this gambling token. The price is up to you. As long as we can afford it, we can accept it. My merciful God, Mr. Sphinx. Didn't you see how arrogant Dick was just now? Mr. Sphinx, this is going to send us to hell. The resource gambling launched by the evil king will definitely plunder our resources and kill our people. This is a crime. But Sphinx didn't pay attention to their cries. He said to Dick friendly. Mr. Dick, I think you don't need to pay attention to them. You just need to do what you want to do. Of course, no one likes a wild dog barking, neither do I. Dick was touched by Sphinx's words. In fact, Sphinx was also unhappy with these robbers, but did he ignore them just because he couldn't gather more teams to gamble with them on resources? So he immediately sent a message to Sphinx. Dear Mr. Sphinx, I think we have the same view. A group of wild dogs barking is really annoying. So everyone wants to drive them away, right? Sphinx. Dick, I like you very much. You're right. Let's make a deal now. I can give you this gambling token for free, but in exchange, you have to agree to one request. Dick nodded and said, no problem. It's just a friend's request. Just tell me what you want to do. Although he said so, Dick was ready to refuse. Sphinx and Dick had the same goal on this matter. Although they called each other friends, Dick was still not sure about Sphinx's true attitude towards him. If what Sphinx put forward was harmful to his interests, he would never agree. Sphinx said with a smile as if he had seen through Dick's mind. Mr. Dick, you must be thinking about whether I have any plans for you or not. Don't worry. I won't play tricks on my friends. My conditions are very simple. After you start the gambling, our green hand village can join your team. As soon as he finished speaking, the whole chat channel was filled with exclamations again. The screams of those robbers were because this time they had to face not only Dick but also a more powerful Sphinx. More people exclaimed because Sphinx was willing to give up his identity as the strongest and join Dick's team. It seemed that Dick was more likely to win. Dick was also overjoyed. The condition of Sphinx was not a condition at all. It did not damage his interests and even had great benefits. So he agreed to Sphinx's condition without hesitation. Sphinx was also very straightforward. He immediately transferred the gambling token to Dick through the trading system. Emergency announcement. Dick from number 1002548 Green, Hand Village has started a group gambling in number 12 Rookie District. Hint. The group will be divided into two teams, red and blue. The loser would lose 70% of the resources and each of them would lose 50 points. The winner's resources would be doubled by 2 times, and each property would be increased by 50 points. Hint. In this resource gambling, the person of winning team reaches 200 points will receive an extra reward, reaches 500 points will receive a double reward, and reaches 800 points will receive a treble reward. The hint is over. Dick starts to choose his opponent. Announcement of gambling. Number 666 Green, Hand Village is chosen as the red team being the opposing side. Announcement of gambling. Number 69524 Green, Hand Village is chosen as the red team being the opposing side. None of the previous robbers had fallen. All of them had been chosen to be the opponents, which caused them to wail again. However, Dick would never show mercy to these green, hand villages. Just now, these green, hand villages had proved their barbarity with their actions. Only by completely destroying these green, hand villages could he stop their plundering. Dick starts choosing his team members. Announcement of gambling. Number 7 Green, Hand Village was selected to the blue team being Dick's member. The team choosing is over. The blue team has 2 green, hand villages in total, and the red team has 12 green, hand villages in total. During the gambling, all of the green, hand village who participated in the gambling will be unable to chat on the channel for the time being. The green, hand village of each camp would open the team chat channel. Finished. That was it. The red team members were selected so quickly that no one had time to react. They had thought that this time Dick would be safer and choose a few more green, hand villages. But this time, Dick only chose number 7 Green, Hand Village, where Sphinx was. 2 versus 12. This time the gap was even greater than last time. Although many people were still confused about Dick's choice and wanted to know what was on Dick's mind, the green, hand villages that participated in the game had been cut off from the regional chat channel, and they had no way to know the specific situation of the two teams. Gentlemen, we have lost last time. This time, the opponent only has 2 green, hand villages. We can't them win anyway. Everyone, I mean every one of you has to try your best. We can't let that group of barbarians slander the reputation of a gentleman.